Live from Hazard, Kentucky, this is Jammin John's Wrestling News. Here's your news for Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. Local advertising in Cleveland, Ohio is no longer listing Charlotte Flair vs. Becky Lynch for the WWE Fastlane pay-per-view. The two are listed as being part of the show, but no longer against each other. Stay tuned to Jammin John's Wrestling News for any further breaking news updates on this story. Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com is reporting that Kofi Kingston is now the front runner to face Daniel Bryan at the Fastlane pay-per-view. According to Meltzer, Kofi was not in the original plans for Fastlane, but WWE has possibly changed direction due to the reaction to Kofi's recent performances. And on the topic of Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, it appears that WWE hasn't decided yet on an opponent for Daniel Bryan at Wrestlemania 35. Also, according to Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com, the WWE is currently talking about having Bryan's opponent be someone that hasn't been active much on television lately. The following names are being speculated as Bryan's potential WrestleMania opponent: Bray Wyatt, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Kurt Angle, John Cena, Batista, and even The Undertaker. And sadly, at this time, WWE apparently isn't planning to have Kofi Kingston as Bryan's opponent. Come on, WWE, make it happen. This is the match that every wrestling fan wants to see in the WWE at WrestleMania. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Book it, Vince. Yeah, I just said that. Bully Ray commented on the live crowd from last night's WWE RAW in Lafayette, Louisiana. Bully Ray tweeted on Twitter, "I always hated when fellow wrestlers would say to me, 'Wow, that crowd sucked tonight.' My normal response was, 'No, you sucked tonight.' So take it from me. That crowd sucked last night. When you're that dead from the second RAW goes on the air, you're the problem." Lio Rush is reportedly developing a bad reputation backstage in WWE. Here's what Mike Johnson of PWInsiderElite.com said following the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, courtesy of WrestlingNews.co. Mike Johnson said, "It appears Lio Rush is done with Bobby Lashley. I can tell you behind the scenes there were not a lot of people surprised at that, and not a lot of people surprised that Lio took the pin. There are times Lio has a reputation for rubbing people, including other workers, the wrong way. Whether that was being held against him and that was part of the reasoning for him losing, or whether it was just a decision to protect Lashley and shift the belt to Finn Balor, I guess we'll have to see, based on how Lio is presented in the weeks and months to come." And of course, as you've seen last night on Raw, Lio was back to being teamed up with Lashley for the time being. And finally, here on Jammin John's Wrestling News, the Young Bucks recently did an interview with SportingNews.com and talked about what sold them on getting involved with All Elite Wrestling. Nick Jackson said, "Right off the bat, I would say the freedom, the creative freedom. It was an outlet for us to express the way we feel pro wrestling should be done, the way we think it should be done in 2019 and the future. It was pretty easy from there on out. We were like, okay, we can show the world how we feel wrestling should be represented, and this is how we feel like it should be. The other options were to stay where we were or go to WWE. For me personally, I feel like this was the easy choice because we're going to be with all of our friends and we're having a good time. It feels like pretty much what we have been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, but on a bigger scale." Matt Jackson said, "Tony basically said, listen, hire who you want to hire and you're in charge. Nobody else can compete with that. A dollar figure can't compete with that. We're artists and we're creative." And Matt Jackson added, "I'll tell you this right now. Kenny was the missing piece. I talked earlier about how Tony called me originally and got on the phone with him and he told me we need Kenny. We need the elite. I need the best wrestler in the world and I need the best tag team in the world. That was it. Originally it started as the three of us and then Cody later came on board. We kind of had to sell him on it because wrestling, and he's probably heard a million stories about startups and billionaires investing in wrestling, and we all have. We finally, the three of us, got him on board, and once he was on board, he was all in, and here we are." That is your news for Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. Check back here tomorrow for another Jammin John's Wrestling News Flash Briefing on Amazon Alexa devices, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow me on Twitter at John Caldwell, JONCOLWELL. Follow me on Instagram, the Jammin John. If you'd like to sponsor Jammin John's wrestling news or your wrestling promotion, want to get your next big event out, you can email me, jzcaldwell@gmail.com. That's JZCOLWELL@gmail.com. Big shout out to Ryan Hurdle and Tony Nelson for subscribing to my Patreon. You too can subscribe to me by going to patreon.com/JamminJohn. I have free packages on there ranging from free to $7. Not a whole lot of money. I would really appreciate it if you supported me a little bit financially. Once again, that's patreon.com/JamminJohn. This is Jammin John saying thanks, goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.